All right, Miles, let's talk about the LSU Tigers. They find themselves in the news. Of course, LSU has moved itself into one of the top contenders in the SEC West and, frankly, in the entire SEC. They are looking to take that next leap and become a national title contender, a college football playoff participant. And we've got to report out about a big move that LSU just pulled off that could be one of their final pieces to get them there.
Yeah, Nick, you say big move. I say huge move. I think this is going to be massive for the LSU Tigers. I think they're going to love this going forward. But let's take a second here and talk about, we've been asking questions lately about your favorite position group in the history of a team. And today for the LSU Tigers, we want to touch on the running back position and ask, who's your favorite LSU running back of all time? Especially recently, there's been a lot of great ones. But, go back through the annals of LSU history. Find a guy that you really liked and tell us in the comments below who is your favorite LSU running back of all time. But nonetheless, Nick, what do the Tigers have going on?
Yeah, so LSU is one of those teams that they seem to be stacked at every position. They're good at quarterback, good at wide receiver. I like their offensive line. Their defense is stacked. They've got some young players. They got some seasoned players. But I think they'll want a good coach, obviously, and Kelly, good coaching staff, good culture, everything you want in the program. But one position they've been lacking currently as they look forward to the 2023 regular season is the running back position. Well, no more. The LSU Tigers pulled off a massive move in the transfer portal. This is according to Hayes Fawcett over at On3 Sports. Miles, if you want to throw up the report, I will read from it. Breaking, former Notre Dame running back Logan Diggs tells me he is committed to LSU. The 6-foot-tall, 215-pound running back will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. I think Diggs was later quoted that in the tweet, every question and concern was answered, and I knew if I truly wanted to be great, there's only one place to do it, and that was, of course, going to LSU. This is obviously a big move for LSU pulling this off because they had some issues at running back. If you go down their depth chart right now, it's kind of got some concerns. Outkick.com kind of did a good job outlining their running back position. You've got seniors Noah Kane and John Emery, juniors Amani Goodwin, and freshmen Trey Hawley and Caleb Jackson. None of them had as many rushing yards last season as Diggs did, who had over 800 yards, led Notre Dame Fighting Irish. In fact, the leading rusher for LSU last year was Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, obviously a little more than 800 yards. But if you go through the LSU's current backfield situation, Emery has academic issues for most of his career. Williams and Godwin missed spring practice with knee injuries, and no one knows what Godwin's status is for practice. It's kind of up in question right now. So, in fact, and even Coach Kelly said this, that, quote, we felt there were too many uncertainties talking about the running back position that we've been trying to address through the transfer portal. So, Miles, all that being said is great job by LSU recognizing that they're ready and set to win now, but they were deficient at one position, whether it's academic issues, whether it's injury concerns, experienced issues. They don't have any running back on the roster that ran for more than 500 yards last season, I believe. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher for a couple of years. So they go out and get a proven commodity, a guy Coach Kelly knows from his days at Notre Dame, who was productive at Notre Dame last year, led the team in rushing, to come in and fill that role and be a key cog in this offense day one. I think this is a massive move by LSU. Frankly, I think it's a really smart move and proactive move by the program as well. Give me your thoughts on this addition and just everything that's potentially setting up for LSU next season, Miles.
Yeah, Nick, I was going to touch on that. I think that's a really big one. You got to know when a guy like Logan Diggs, who has played with Kelly before at Notre Dame, they have to be able to see the talent there. And the fact that he waited a year, stuck it out at Notre Dame, and then Kelly still decides to bring him over to LSU. This has got to be a heck of a player. He's going to be very valuable to this franchise going forward. Is you got to have a running back, and having a big guy at running back, 215 pounds, Nick. This guy's able to hit the hole and give you those hard charging yards that you're going to want, soften up defenses, open up the passing game that everybody likes to do, because this is a passing team. This LSU team is very talented at the wide receiver and quarterback position. This is how they're going to get their way down the field for majority of the season. But having a guy like Diggs in the backfield, having a guy that has the size and the speed to be able to soften up defense a little bit, get those tough yards, I think is going to be very critical for this team going forward. And as you said, they really didn't have a great answer at the running back position, but now they have a bona fide superstar in the backfield. This guy was a pretty highly touted recruit coming out of high school. He ranked as a 3-star coming out of high school. He's now a 4-star ranked as a transfer. So I don't know necessarily how those, I think he just means he's gotten better since he's got to college. Nick, he's better than he was. So I think this is a really big pickup for the LSU Tigers. I'm excited to see how they utilize a running back like Diggs going forward.
Yeah, just I think to correct myself earlier. So Diggs had over 800 yards, 816 last year for Notre Dame. The leading rusher and returning rusher for LSU is Josh Williams, who had 532 yards last season. So again, there's no running back on the roster that comes remotely close to Logan Diggs' production last season. But I think a big part of this move, Miles, I think really jumps out at me is it puts a little of the burden off the quarterback, right? Because Jane Daniels had to do a lot of the running, had to take care of a lot of it with his legs, and you always like a quarterback that can do it. But in reality, you need to have a quarterback in the high levels of college football that can consistently and productively, complete passes downfield, take over the game from a passing perspective. This isn't, yesteryear's college football where a multi-talented running back, a quarterback who could run and throw, can lead you to success. It's just not the way it works anymore. The national title teams, the teams that win, you look at the Georgias, you look at the Alabamas, they can succeed with quarterbacks that can run, but they have to be primary throwers first. Jane Daniels can be a primary thrower first. I think last season, a lot of times he was forced to run. Adding this key depth in the running back room will allow him to not have to run as much and focus on throwing. I think that'll be critical for this LSU offense.